Hey folks, welcome back to the Stoic journey. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to naturally attract attention? They walk into a room and suddenly all eyes are on them. It's like they have a magnetic energy that draws people in without them even trying. What if I told you that this isn't something they're born with? It's something anyone can learn, including you. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the secrets of how to naturally attract positive attention from others. We're not talking about tricks or manipulations. We're talking about using ancient Stoic principles combined with a few psychological insights to make people want to be around you without you having to chase after their approval. This isn't about being fake or trying too hard. It's about mastering your energy and presence in a way that makes others want to pay attention. Here's the thing. Most people think attracting attention means doing more, being louder, or making themselves stand out in obvious ways. But in reality, the secret is often in doing less. Not less in terms of effort, but less in terms of giving yourself away too quickly. The less you try to be the center of attention, the more people will start to wonder about you, and that's when the attention naturally shifts in your direction. This shift happens because of two key psychological principles: scarcity and mystery. First, let's talk about scarcity. People value what is rare. If you're always available, always trying to be noticed, and always seeking approval, you're actually diminishing your value. When you're constantly in someone's space or always ready to please, they start to take you for granted. Think of the things in life that you really value. Chances are, those things are not easy to get. The same principle applies to how people perceive you. If you make yourself less available, less accessible, people will start to crave your presence more. That's the power of scarcity. But here's the twist. Stoicism teaches us to detach from the need for external validation by becoming self-sufficient. You don't need others to constantly affirm your value. You know your worth, whether or not someone is giving you attention. And when you adopt this mindset, something incredible happens. You become the person who is scarce, not because you're playing games, but because you're no longer dependent on their approval. And trust me, when you don't need their attention, they will start giving it to you. Now, let's add the second layer: mystery. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. If you're always explaining yourself, constantly talking and revealing everything about yourself up front, there's no room for curiosity, no mystery. When you reveal less, when you leave things unsaid, people can't help but become more intrigued. This doesn't mean being secretive or distant, but it does mean knowing when to hold back. Stoicism teaches us the power of silence, knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. When you master this balance, you instantly become more interesting because people will start to wonder, what's going on with them? What are they thinking? Scarcity and mystery go hand in hand, but they work because of a deep psychological truth. People want what they can't easily have. If you're always there, always giving, always explaining, you remove the challenge. But when you hold back, when you don't reveal everything, you trigger that sense of curiosity that pulls people toward you. You become someone worth paying attention to, someone worth getting to know. But there's another powerful element that ties all of this together: emotional control. Stoicism is all about mastering your emotions, and one of the most attractive qualities you can possess is emotional stability. In a world where people are constantly reacting, getting flustered or angry, the person who remains calm and composed stands out. When you're able to stay centered, regardless of what's going on around you, others will notice. Emotional control shows confidence and inner strength, qualities that naturally draw people in. Think about it. When everyone else is losing their cool, getting stressed, or desperately seeking attention, the one who remains unshaken stands out. That's magnetic. People want to be around someone who can handle pressure without cracking, someone who is emotionally independent and stable. This is why Stoicism is so powerful. It teaches us to remain calm in the face of chaos, and that calmness is incredibly attractive. Now, you may be asking, how do I put all of this into practice? Don't worry. We'll get into the specific steps throughout this video. I'll show you exactly how to combine these Stoic principles with the right psychological techniques to become someone who naturally attracts attention without having to try too hard. Whether it's in relationships, at work, or in social situations, these strategies will help you shift from chasing attention to naturally commanding it. By the end of this video, you'll have the power to completely change how others see you. No more chasing, no more seeking approval. You'll discover how to naturally draw people in effortlessly. Picture yourself walking into any room with quiet confidence, knowing that you have an undeniable presence that makes people gravitate toward you. If you're ready to stop being overlooked and start radiating the kind of energy that commands attention without you even trying, then stick with me. Together, we're going to unlock these transformative secrets step by step. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell so you're always the first to learn these powerful strategies. Now, let's kickstart this transformation together. Drop a comment below with the affirmation, "I am a magnet for positive attention and respect." Don't just type the words, feel them. Believe in your power to attract the energy and attention you deserve. Claim this moment as the beginning of your shift, and let's step into this new confident energy together. Number 1. Keep your cards close to your chest. When we say, keep your cards close to your chest, we're talking about not revealing everything about yourself right away. It's about holding back a little, keeping some mystery in the mix, and not laying all your cards on the table for everyone to see. In the context of naturally attracting positive attention, this idea is incredibly powerful. Think about it. When you give too much of yourself up front, whether it's in a conversation, a relationship, or even in how you carry yourself, you lose a certain allure. People become intrigued by what they don't fully know or understand, and it's this intrigue that draws them in. The less they know, the more they want to know. Stoic philosophy speaks directly to this idea of holding back, maintaining a sense of control over what we reveal and how we present ourselves. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This ties into our concept perfectly. You control how much of yourself you give to the world, and when you keep certain things to yourself, you maintain power in how others perceive you. The more mystery you maintain, the more others are drawn to you because they're left wondering about the parts they haven't yet seen. Think about how this plays out in relationships. If you're constantly telling someone every thought that crosses your mind, always explaining yourself, or giving away your deepest feelings without them having to work for it, you remove the challenge. Relationships, much like any human interaction, thrive on a bit of mystery. People enjoy peeling back layers of a person, discovering new aspects over time. When you reveal everything at once, you take that excitement away. But when you keep certain things close, you allow others to invest in getting to know you. This doesn't mean being secretive or distant. It means letting your thoughts and emotions unfold naturally and strategically. It's about balance, and that balance keeps people intrigued. However, I understand that for many, this might feel difficult. You might think, but if I don't open up, they won't understand me. Or, what if they lose interest because I'm holding back? Here's where the power lies. By not giving everything up front, you're actually making yourself more interesting. Yes, it can feel vulnerable to hold back because it seems like you're not being fully seen. But here's the truth. You're being seen, just not all at once. You're allowing people to see the parts of you that matter in the moment, while keeping the rest tucked away for later. This creates a natural rhythm where others feel the need to stay invested, to keep learning more about you. Let's use a metaphor to understand this better. Think of yourself as a book. If someone reads the entire book in one sitting, there's no longer any suspense, no reason to keep turning the pages. But if you reveal one chapter at a time, slowly, deliberately, with meaning behind each turn of the page, the reader becomes hooked. They can't wait for the next chapter, the next reveal. This is exactly how you attract positive attention in any setting. You don't need to overshare or over-explain. Let people read one chapter of you at a time. Let them wonder about the parts they haven't read yet. In relationships, this is especially important. The person who holds a little back, who is calm, composed, and thoughtful in what they share, is the one who keeps the attention. It's a form of self-control that's deeply attractive. Imagine you're starting to date someone. If you reveal every single detail about your past, your thoughts, your feelings all at once, it can overwhelm the other person. But if you allow them to discover these things naturally over time, it creates a bond built on curiosity and a sense of discovery. They'll be drawn to you because they know there's always more to learn. They'll feel excited to uncover the next layer, and that's how you build deep, meaningful connections without trying too hard. Now, I know this might feel uncomfortable at first. If you're used to laying everything out there, the idea of keeping your cards close might feel unnatural. But trust me, this is a skill you can develop, and it's one that pays off massively when it comes to attracting positive attention from others. You'll feel more in control of your interactions and relationships. Instead of hoping for approval, you'll notice people are naturally drawn to you, curious about other parts of you they don't fully know yet. It's empowering to realize that you don't need to give everything away to be valued. In fact, the less you give up front, the more valuable you become. So, I want to challenge you right now. This is just the first step, and you can't move the needle with only one step. We're just getting started. It's easy to want to click away and move on to something else, but if you're serious about transforming your life and becoming someone who naturally attracts the attention and respect of others, you need to stick with me. Embrace this step. Master the art of keeping your cards close and trust the process. You won't achieve this transformation overnight, but every small shift you make will get you closer to becoming the person worth chasing. If you're ready to take this challenge with me, drop the affirmation, "I naturally attract positive attention and respect," in the comments below. Let me see that you're committed to staying with me on this journey. This is just the beginning, and together, we're going to unlock the secrets to becoming the person everyone wants to be around. Stay focused, keep your cards close, and get ready for the next steps, because we're just starting out, and your transformation is only beginning. Number 2, stand your ground. Standing your ground is one of the most powerful secrets to naturally attracting positive attention, particularly when it comes to relationships or social dynamics. It means knowing your worth, staying true to your values, and refusing to bend just to fit someone else's expectations. When you stand your ground, you communicate strength, confidence, and self-respect, qualities that draw people in effortlessly. But standing your ground isn't just about being firm, it's about embodying a quiet, unshakable confidence that makes others respect you, even if they don't always agree with you. People are naturally drawn to those who hold firm in their beliefs without being aggressive. Why? Because it shows that you're not easily swayed or influenced by external opinions. In a world where people often bend to fit in or seek approval, the person who can stand strong in their values becomes a beacon of strength. It's a subtle but powerful form of attraction that operates beneath the surface. When you don't constantly seek validation or approval from others, it sends a message that you are complete on your own. This is where Stoicism comes in, teaching us that our worth is not tied to external circumstances or people's opinions, but rooted in our inner sense of self. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When you stand your ground, it shows that you've learned your own value, and you're not willing to compromise it for temporary validation. It also forces others to recognize your boundaries. People may not always agree with you, but they'll respect you for staying true to yourself, and that respect often turns into admiration, which naturally leads to attention. However, standing your ground is not always easy, especially in relationships. It can feel tempting to give in, especially when you care deeply about someone. You may fear that if you don't bend, you'll lose their interest. But here's where dark psychology comes into play. When you stand firm, you actually activate a deeper psychological response in others. When they realize they can't easily influence or control you, they become more intrigued and interested in winning your approval. This shift in dynamics can completely change how someone sees you. Instead of taking you for granted, they start working harder to earn your respect and attention. For example, in a romantic relationship, if you're always the one making compromises, the other person may start to take advantage of that. They may assume you'll always bend to their needs and stop putting in the effort. But when you stand your ground and assert your boundaries without being confrontational, it forces them to recognize your value. Suddenly they realize they can't walk all over you, and this creates a new level of respect. It's a subtle way of shifting the power dynamic without needing to say much. Your actions speak for you, and the other person begins to see you in a new light. But what if standing your ground feels difficult? It's natural to feel uncomfortable, especially if you're someone who's used to pleasing others. The fear of rejection or conflict can make it tempting to give in. However, think of standing your ground like planting a tree. At first, it may feel shaky, like the roots haven't fully taken hold. But over time, as the tree grows and strengthens, it becomes immovable. Similarly, the more you practice standing your ground, the stronger and more confident you'll feel in your decisions. And just like a tree provides shade and shelter, your firm stance provides emotional safety and stability in your relationships. People are drawn to that sense of strength and security. Another way to understand this concept is through a metaphor. Imagine you are a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore. The waves crash against you, the storms rage, and yet you remain steady, guiding others through the darkness. Standing your ground is like being that lighthouse. You don't need to chase the waves or try to control the storm. Instead, you remain calm and grounded, knowing that your strength lies in your ability to stay rooted no matter what comes your way. And just like the lighthouse draws ships toward it, your strength and resilience will naturally attract people toward you, because they know you won't be easily swayed by the turbulence of life. Now, how do you do this better? Start by getting clear on your values. What do you stand for? What are your boundaries? Knowing these things ahead of time makes it easier to stand firm when faced with pressure or temptation. Practice saying no when something doesn't align with your values, and remember that no is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain or justify why you're standing your ground. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes, and over time, people will learn to respect your boundaries because they'll know that you mean what you say. The key is to stay calm and composed. Standing your ground doesn't mean being aggressive or confrontational. In fact, the most powerful way to do it is through quiet confidence. People are much more likely to respect you when they see that you're firm but not hostile. This balance is what creates that magnetic attraction. You're strong, but you don't need to prove it to anyone. Your energy speaks for itself. When it feels tough, remember this. Standing your ground is not just about the moment. It's about setting the tone for how people treat you in the future. Each time you stand firm, you're building a foundation of respect that others will remember. And even if it feels hard in the moment, know that the long-term rewards are worth it. The people who truly value you will respect your boundaries, and those who don't aren't worth your time or energy. So, don't be afraid to stand your ground. You're not losing anything by staying true to yourself. In fact, you're gaining the respect, admiration, and positive attention that comes from being someone who knows their worth. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." You don't need to fight or struggle to gain attention. Simply standing firm in who you are is enough to make people take notice. Stay strong, stand tall, and watch as others naturally begin to see your value. You don't need to chase anyone. Your grounded confidence will attract exactly the kind of attention you deserve. Number 3. Create a ripple effect. Creating a ripple effect is one of the most powerful ways to naturally attract positive attention from others, and it starts from within. When we talk about creating a ripple effect, we mean that your internal energy, mindset, and actions have a way of influencing the people around you. Just like a stone tossed into a still pond sends ripples outward, this concept is rooted in both dark psychology and Stoicism. By mastering your inner state and projecting the right energy, you become a person others are drawn to without having to ask for their attention. People notice and respond to the way you carry yourself, and when your energy is calm, confident, and steady, it leaves a lasting impact on them. This is where Stoicism becomes key. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what others do, but we can always control our reactions. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you focus on maintaining a positive, grounded state of mind, you begin to emit that energy outward. This doesn't mean forcing positivity or pretending everything is fine. It's about developing inner peace and confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you are in control of your emotions. The ripple effect begins when others sense this strength in you, and they can't help but be drawn to it. In relationships, this ripple effect can transform the dynamics completely. Imagine you're in a situation where someone you care about is pulling away. The instinctual reaction might be to panic, chase, or try harder to get their attention. But that's when the ripple effect works in reverse. You end up pushing them further away. Instead, when you focus on cultivating inner calm and confidence, even in the face of uncertainty, you change the energy you're projecting. Rather than desperation, you radiate a sense of self-assurance. People are naturally drawn to those who are in control of their emotions because it signals strength and reliability. They begin to notice the change in you, and that shift creates the ripple effect. They start coming toward you, not because you chased them, but because your energy pulled them in. But what if it feels difficult to maintain that steady energy, especially when emotions are running high? It's completely natural to feel overwhelmed when situations don't go as planned. The key is not to deny those feelings, but to acknowledge them and return to your center. Stoicism doesn't teach us to ignore emotions, but to master them. When things feel hard, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Every reaction you control is a signal you send to the world. When you manage your energy, you maintain your power, and that power is what attracts others. You're no longer reacting to their actions. You're creating an environment where people want to be around you because you offer calmness and strength. Think of this ripple effect like the warmth of the sun. The sun doesn't chase after the earth to give it light. It simply radiates its energy, and life is drawn toward it. Similarly, you don't need to chase after anyone's approval. Instead, focus on radiating that confident, calm energy, and people will naturally feel its pull. It might take time, but just like ripples expanding in a pond, you'll see how your inner state affects those around you. The change may not always be immediate, but once it starts, it's hard to stop. If you find it challenging at times, just remember that this isn't about perfection. Everyone has moments where they feel off balance. The real strength lies in coming back to yourself, practicing patience, and continuing to work on your inner state. With time, it becomes second nature, and others will notice the quiet confidence you carry. When they feel the calm energy you exude, they'll want to be around it, even if they don't fully understand why. That's the power of the ripple effect. People are drawn to what feels steady and reliable, especially in a world full of chaos. So how do you do this better? Practice mindfulness and self-awareness daily. Start by checking in with yourself regularly. When you feel stressed or anxious, take a step back and breathe. In moments of tension, remind yourself that you control how you respond. As you practice this more, you'll notice that your energy becomes more consistent. And once that happens, others will start to feel the shift. They'll be drawn to you because you offer something rare: emotional stability and confidence. You don't have to say much to attract attention. Your energy will do all the talking for you. At the end of the day, the ripple effect is about embracing your inner power and letting it naturally influence those around you. Don't underestimate the impact you have. The energy you project can transform how others see you without you ever having to chase them. So remember, you are the stone in the pond. Throw yourself in with calm intention and confidence, and watch the ripples spread far beyond what you ever expected. Your energy has the power to attract people towards you effortlessly. Embrace it, live it, and let the world come to you. If you're ready to take control of your life and relationships, this is just the beginning. Join our community by subscribing, and let's walk this powerful path together. You have the strength within you. Let us help you unlock it, one step at a time. Hit that subscribe button, because your transformation starts right here, right now. Be the one who's hard to forget. Forget being the one who's hard to forget means leaving a lasting impression that lingers in someone's mind long after the interaction is over. It's not about being loud or overly dramatic. It's about the subtle, quiet power of authenticity and self-assurance in relationships. Whether personal or professional, It's not the person who tries too hard to be noticed that stands out, but the one who remains grounded, composed, and genuinely themselves. This is the essence of naturally attracting positive attention. When you stay true to your core values, people will feel drawn to your calm, steady presence, almost like a magnet. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in self-mastery, not in seeking validation from others. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This means that instead of trying to convince others of your worth, you simply embody it. You become unforgettable by being someone who doesn't need to chase or beg for attention because your actions and presence speak louder than words. This is the foundation of attracting attention effortlessly. In a relationship, for example, the person who doesn't constantly seek validation or attention is often the one who leaves the deepest impact. Think of someone who doesn't text obsessively or always try to prove their worth, but instead focuses on living their best life. That quiet confidence makes others wonder, what are they up to? Why aren't they seeking my attention? It's human nature to be drawn to what we can't fully understand or control. When you make your life and energy something worth earning, you naturally create curiosity and respect in others. For some, this might feel difficult, especially if you're used to being more emotionally available or you feel a strong need to be noticed. But remember, this isn't about playing games or becoming cold. It's about shifting the focus from others back to yourself. You cultivate a life that's full and meaningful on your own terms, and when you do that, people will naturally gravitate toward you. If you feel the pull to seek approval or chase after attention, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Every time you refrain from seeking external validation, you're becoming stronger within yourself, and that's exactly what makes you hard to forget. Think of it like a candle in a dark room. You don't have to shout or call for people to notice you. Your light naturally draws them in. The more steady and calm your light is, the more people are comforted by your presence. It's the same in life. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence, others will remember you long after you've left the room. You don't need to be the loudest or the most attention-seeking. You simply need to be the one who is at peace with themselves. This is what makes you stand out in a way that others can't ignore. The next time you feel the need to prove yourself, remember that the most unforgettable people are the ones who don't have to try so hard. You become unforgettable by being solid, by showing that you don't need constant reassurance. It's about being that rare person who isn't swayed by outside opinions, who doesn't crumble under pressure, and who knows that their value is not dependent on someone else's validation. This kind of emotional independence is not only attractive, but deeply respected. If you're feeling unsure about how to practice this, start small. Don't react immediately when someone pulls away or when you feel the urge to explain yourself. Let there be space, and in that space, let your strength grow. It's in these moments of restraint where you build the kind of energy that others will remember. Being unforgettable isn't about grand gestures. It's about the calm, quiet power you show every day in the little things. So take this as your challenge. Be the person who doesn't need to be loud to be remembered. Focus on becoming the kind of person who is so secure in themselves that others can't help but notice. In every interaction, leave behind a sense of calm, strength, and authenticity. When you do this, you don't just attract attention, you attract the right kind of attention. You become the person people think about long after you're gone. And remember, the most powerful person in any room is often the one who doesn't need to prove it. Let your energy do the talking. Letting your energy do the talking means projecting a quiet confidence that draws people in without needing to seek validation or attention. It's about radiating an inner calm and self-assurance that naturally attracts positive attention. Instead of relying on words or actions to impress, your energy speaks for you. This ties back to Stoic principles. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By staying grounded and composed, you show others that external forces do not shake you, and that is incredibly attractive. In relationships, this approach is especially powerful. Often when people feel ignored or unappreciated, they instinctively try harder, sending more messages, seeking reassurance, or making grand gestures. But this often pushes others away because it comes from a place of neediness. When you let your energy do the talking, you focus on being calm, self-assured, and emotionally independent. You show that your worth isn't tied to their approval. This shift makes others gravitate toward you because people are drawn to those who are centered in themselves. This is particularly useful when you sense someone pulling away. Instead of reacting out of fear or anxiety, take a step back and center yourself. Focus on your own growth, your own calm energy. When they notice that you aren't reacting or chasing, they'll start to wonder why. That's when they'll come back to you, drawn by the stability you project. This quiet strength speaks volumes more than any words you could say. However, maintaining this calm energy can feel difficult, especially if you're emotionally invested. It's natural to want to react or seek validation, but remember, true power comes from controlling your own emotional state. Think of your energy like a fire. If you constantly fuel it with worry, panic, or desperation, it will burn out of control. But if you tend to it carefully, keeping it steady, it will provide warmth and light without consuming you. Managing your energy in this way makes you magnetic to others because people are naturally attracted to those who are emotionally balanced. A great metaphor for this is a tree standing in a storm. The wind may whip through its branches, but the tree remains rooted, steady, and strong. It doesn't need to react to the storm. It just stands firm. This is how you should approach your energy. When chaos or emotional storms come your way, stay rooted in your inner calm and let your unshakable energy do the talking. At the end of the day, letting your energy do the talking isn't about trying to be noticed. It's about being so grounded in your own value that others can't help but notice. Focus on becoming that steady, calm presence that others are drawn to. When you stop seeking external validation and start trusting in your own inner strength, you'll find that people naturally gravitate toward you. Stay strong, stay centered, and let your energy speak for itself. Leave them hanging. Leaving them hanging is a subtle yet powerful way to naturally attract positive attention. This doesn't mean ignoring or mistreating others, but instead, it involves creating a sense of intrigue by not giving everything away at once. When you hold back a little, whether in conversation, emotions, or availability, you keep people wanting more. It's about mastering the art of mystery, something that dark psychology and Stoicism both teach us. By leaving some things unsaid or unfinished, you stir curiosity, and curiosity is a magnet for attention. Stoicism teaches us to control our impulses and emotions, to not always react or give everything we have immediately. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea aligns perfectly with the concept of leaving them hanging. It's about being measured in your responses and not over-explaining or oversharing. This self-restraint not only keeps people intrigued, but also builds your emotional strength. When you can resist the urge to overshare or overreact, you project an inner calm that naturally draws people toward you. In relationships, this tactic is incredibly useful. Imagine you're in the early stages of dating, and your instinct is to show your interest by texting often or explaining your feelings fully. But if you give everything up front, there's nothing left for the other person to discover. When you leave a bit of mystery, they start wondering about you. They'll think about your next move, what you're feeling, and why you're not oversharing like most people do. This intrigue builds attraction because people are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. Instead of revealing everything, leave small gaps. Give them something to think about after the conversation is over. Now, if it feels difficult to hold back, you're not alone. It's human nature to want to connect by sharing more, especially if you're emotionally invested. But learning to leave them hanging takes practice. Start by holding off on answering every question immediately or revealing too much about yourself too soon. Practice restraint even when the temptation to share more feels overwhelming. Over time, this will become second nature, and you'll notice how much more attention you naturally attract by letting curiosity do the work for you. A great metaphor for this is a book with missing pages. When you're reading and come across a part of the story that leaves you hanging, you can't help but wonder what's next. You're drawn in because your mind wants to fill in the gaps. People are wired the same way. When they don't have the full picture, they become more invested in finding out what's missing. By not revealing everything at once, you become that book with missing pages, and people will be eager to know more. Leaving them hanging isn't about playing mind games. It's about mastering the art of restraint and self-control. It's about valuing your presence and information enough to not give it away too easily. When you keep a little mystery, you remain interesting and keep others intrigued. The more you practice this, the more effortlessly you'll attract positive attention from others. People will seek your company because they'll want to understand what's going on beneath the surface. In the end, the key is to remember that it's not about withholding everything, but knowing when to pause. By leaving them hanging, you allow curiosity to work in your favor, and that's one of the most powerful tools of attraction. So embrace the mystery, trust in your self-worth, and watch as people are drawn to you without you needing to try so hard. Stay patient, stay composed, and let curiosity and intrigue do the talking for you. Stay cool under pressure. Staying cool under pressure is a powerful tool when it comes to naturally attracting positive attention. It means maintaining your calm and composure even in challenging or stressful situations. When you stay grounded, you show that you can handle anything life throws at you without being rattled. People are drawn to this type of emotional stability because it signals strength and self-control. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In relationships, this trait is especially valuable because it creates a sense of safety and trust. When others see that you can remain calm when things get tough, they naturally respect and admire you. The key to staying cool under pressure is mastering your emotions. Even when it feels difficult, it's easy to react impulsively when someone disappoints or frustrates you. But real power lies in the ability to pause, breathe, and respond with calmness. Imagine you're in an argument with a partner. If you stay calm while they escalate, your composure alone shifts the dynamic. It becomes clear that you're in control of yourself, which often makes the other person reflect on their own reactions. Think of yourself as a mountain during a storm. The wind and rain may batter against you, but you remain unshaken, standing strong. This metaphor captures the essence of Stoic resilience. Even when the pressure mounts, you remain steady, which naturally draws people to you. Staying cool under pressure isn't always easy, but it's worth it. When you can maintain your composure in any situation, people will view you as strong, reliable, and worth following. Stay calm, stay focused, and watch how your ability to stay cool sets you apart from the rest. If you're ready to take control of your life and relationships, this is just the beginning. Join our community by subscribing, and let's walk this powerful path together. You have the strength within you. Let us help you unlock it one step at a time. Hit that subscribe button, because your transformation starts right here, right now.